In this third or final lesson of our M Portfolios course, and we've been talking about the flipped classroom, we need to talk about the process of change, and we need to talk a little bit about some educational theory and some educational developments over the last couple years that bring us into the 21st century, and basically why we're doing what we're doing. Okay, we have some very good educational goals. Okay, we know that students who are graduating from our school, as well as any other school out there, Porter and Chester is not different. We know that they need to know how to learn, because learning is a lifelong experience. We know they need to be able to think critically. Just because someone tells you this is the way it is, doesn't mean that this is the way it is. You have to be able to think through a process. You have to be able to make your own decisions. And thinking critically means taking the emotion out of that decision and thinking about why it is so or why it is not so. We know our students are going to graduate and they have to be able to identify and solve very complex problems. Information, technology, and everything else is not getting any easier to deal with. It's getting more and more difficult to deal with. If we take a look at a car 20 years ago versus a car now, they're much more complex. Which brings us into the next point. Our students need to know how to manage information. We are tossing so much information around the world these days. You have Google, which has billions and billions of pages just about on any subject. We in school toss so much information at the students. Okay, they have to be able to manage this information, and we really need to help teach them how. We need to be able to show students how to innovate. Okay, that doesn't mean make it up as you go along. That means take your take your critical thinking, take your problems, take your information, and create based on that. We need to be able to show them how to create opportunities. We need to be able to show them how to apply what we call multiple literacies, okay? Things that they've done in the past, things they learned in high school, things they learned here in career school, all have to come together to be able to let them function well in this global environment. We need to be able to teach them how to communicate well and cooperate with others, okay? It's not all about them, okay? It's all about getting a task completed. We need to be able to allow our students and teach our students how to demonstrate global and cultural understanding. They cannot be just in tune to their own culture. Their customers, their co-workers, people that work for and with may be of different cultures, and they need to be able to put all these thoughts together. We also need to be able to identify and apply career and life skills. Okay? One of our whole foundations of what we do, okay, is our mission is to train our students in the technical and professional skills essential for their chosen career. Every one of these goals here is part of their technical and professional skills. It's not just the hands-on, it's also what comes outside the box. So what we need to do is what we're doing is we're creating an engaged thinker, we're creating ethical citizens, and we're creating an entrepreneurial spirit. By engaged thinker, I mean the student might say, I collaborate to create new knowledge and or solve problems. That's an engaged thinker. The collaborate part of this is very, very important. Okay? They have to be able to collaborate. The ethical citizen. I do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. No one's telling them to do the right thing. Think about your students now. You have students, 99% of your students do the right thing. It's the 1% that we spend so much time dealing with. Well, maybe it's time to shift that around. The create new opportunities for myself and others. That's the entrepreneurial spirit. That's actually what the American dream is based on. It's not that you're going to work for someone else for the rest of your life. For most of us who are in the trades, okay, you eventually want to go be your own boss. That's part of it. But you also want to be able to create new opportunities for yourself while you're working for someone else. That's the other part of it. Okay, 21st century learning has shifted things a little bit. Where in the past, our learning was based on just this foundational knowledge, okay, which included the core content. It included some cross-synthesis. This was the liberal arts. It included information literacy. This was like the reading of the classics that everyone had to do in high school and college. Okay, that was the past thought. Now, we've added some things in the 21st century, the meta-knowledge, which is the creativity and innovation. In the past, it was only having to do with art students, okay, and people in the artistic side of things. We've added the problem solving, the critical thinking. Okay, that's part of everyone's education now. We've added communication and collaboration. Yeah, we've always had to write in the past, but what we didn't do much with was the collaboration. We've added that to the whole picture. The other side that has now been drastically added is the humanistic knowledge. Okay, we worry about our students more with life and job skills. That's part of what we're doing. We're teaching them job skills, but in the process we're also teaching them life skills. We worry very much about cultural competence. How do people react with different cultures? That is trainable, and that is extremely important because, again, we're in a multicultural environment. We have people from different countries, we have different customs, we have different races, and everything having to do with this are going to affect our graduate. We also have to deal with ethical issues more and more. The times of not teaching ethics as a part of trade school or career school is over. Major colleges and universities are now requiring ethics in their freshman year. Well, you know, we don't have a freshman year. We have our students mainly for 1 year, and we have to include ethics into our conversations. Their future employers depend on us doing it. So, all of this brings us to 6 steps of effective instruction. Okay? As we go through this, we want to think about these 6 steps. Step 1, the teacher provides a description, explanation, or example of a new concept. Step 2, the students restate that explanation in their own words. Step 3, students draw a picture or do something non-linguistic of the new concept. Okay. Step 4, students do activities that help them add to their knowledge. Step 5, students discuss the new concept with each other. Step 6, students practice the new concept using hands-on activities. Now, as you look at this 6 steps, I want you in the back of your mind to be thinking, what absolutely must be done in the classroom with the instructor involved, and what can be done by the student on their own? Okay, again, what must the instructor be involved with, and what can be done by the student on their own? As you know, we've spent a lot of time adding technology to our programs, okay? One of the things that education experts have looked at is what are the effects of technology as we move through a program, okay? So we have 4 levels of technology we're going to talk about. Okay, our first level is down here, okay? This is substitution. Okay, so in our first level, it's substitution. In our second level, okay, augmentation. And don't worry, we'll go into what this all means. In our third level, we have modification. And in our fourth level, we have redefinition. Okay. Now, I actually put arrows down here because at Porter and Chester, we've actually done pretty well with these 2 steps, with this, the substitution and the augmentation. And that's going to be important as we continue this conversation. Okay. And there it is, all printed out without much prettier writing than my crappy handwriting. But I'm trying to a little bit get a point across with technology right here. Okay. Now, we started out about 2.5 years ago. We had curriculum and binders. No matter what we wanted to believe, the hard reality was it was not standardized. We didn't have checks and balances, so everyone did their own thing. And we had a one-way flow of information in many classrooms. Notice I'm saying many, not every, because there were exceptions to these rules. We also were on paper books. Okay, that's our starting point. So where did we go next? Okay, our first step we hit was the level 1, which was the substitution. Okay, the curriculum is out of the binders on Moodle. We've standardized the day-to-day delivery. We have the ability to track students and instructors using curriculum. We've added checks and balances. The system logs what we do, what we look at. We can always go back and verify. And we substitute ebooks. So while we made a little bit of a gain here, okay, that's something new. But in reality, we had this on paper. We supposedly had that in the binders. And we had this on paper. That's what we mean by substitution. So we got rid of the non-technical point. We went to the technical side. But we didn't change much of anything in terms of what the instruction we're delivering. The next level was augmentation. Okay, again, we've actually done a pretty good job of this. Okay, the technology in augmentation acts as a direct tool substitute with functional improvement. What do we mean by that? Okay, we've added some additional applications in most of our programs to support what is being done in the classroom. We've added some simulators, we've added some games, and we've added some other learning experiences. These things were all there on paper. The simulators were there in some of our programs on the classroom computers, but it's gotten better because we now can bring in the web-enabled content because of the one-on-one devices. What we mean one-to-one devices is every student has this electronic device in front of them that is connected. We've always had learning resource centers, but we've been able to bring in eBrary and ProQuest for all students to have access. So again, we've augmented our curriculum. Okay, we really haven't changed a whole lot of delivery methods, but we've augmented. Now, level 3 is the modification. Okay, modification means the technology is allowing us to do significant task redesign. Okay, the level 3 at Porter and Chester, we're just beginning in a few of our programs. We've added the M portfolios, which is why we're doing all this training. Okay, we're now adding videos, demonstrations, and other instructional technology that will slowly replace paper submissions. Okay, you see, now we're starting to modify our tasks. Okay, we're taking it off of the paper-based, we're taking it off of this is the way we've always done it. And we're opening that window to say, okay, let's let the students make videos. Let's have them record demonstrations of work. Let's use other instructional technology like forms and everything else that will allow us to replace these paper-based submissions. Let's let the students create pages on M portfolios that they can share. Okay, that's the modification. We really haven't changed the core of how we're teaching in this step. We're just continuing to modify our assignments. Now, level 4, which is the redefinition. Okay, redefinitions is when the technology is allowing for the creation of new tasks that were previously inconceivable. Okay, let me say that again. Technology is allowing the creation of new tasks that were previously inconceivable. Now, there is a little bit of a fine blurry line between that one and that one. Okay? Redefinition and modification can actually, they can overlap a little bit. Okay? Because, for example, here where I said video demonstrations slowly replacing, well, I could also be saying the videos are adding to and they're redefining. But let's keep it that at modification for the moment. Okay, what do we mean at PCI about redefinition? Redefinition is a complete rewrite of how we do things. For example, the flipped classroom, where students get the lecture at home and they do their group projects and experiential learning at school. Class time is used to allow the instructor interaction with the students. In other words, it's bi-directional communication. Okay, you have your teacher up here at the board. Okay, you have your student working on something. Okay, and it's a happy student because there's one-on-one communication with the teacher. Homework time is used to allow the instructor to student interaction, which is unidirectional. I'm using the word to in here, okay, because the instructor information is flowing to the student, not the other way around here. It's a unidirectional. That's because the instructor has recorded or possibly done something with their lectures where the students are getting that on their own time. So that level floor redefinition is where we are heading. Okay, students do not want to come to school and feel they're wasting their time. Okay, now there's another real important thing here to think about. Okay, remember I kept the level 1 and level 2 a little bit separate. Okay, because there is a separation right here. There is a real big separation right here. Okay, everything down here on the bottom is what we consider enhancement. Okay, we are substituting and we're augmenting. That's enhancing the curriculum. That's enhancing our delivery systems. Everything up for level 3 and 4 is what we call transformation. Okay, transformation is just another word for change. And it's a positive change. Okay, transformation is when we talk about getting things to the next level. That's transformation. We're modifying, we're redefining, we're revisiting how we do things. And this becomes very important in the 21st century learning.